Welcome to 9 to Thrive, Lead Generation Uncovered with Laura Burnett. I'm going to go the other way this time. I'm switching it up. Laura Burnett, tech geek and email marketing wizard, and myself, Nikki Williams, business mentor from the Thrive Business Academy. Laura and I are both super passionate about telling you about the truth about online business, not what everybody else tells you, or in particular the gurus tell you, to support your lead generation, growth and income. And today we're going to be talking about the importance of tracking your goals. Over to you, Laura.
Yes, so we're quite early into the new year. It obviously depends when you're listening to this episode, but no matter what, at some point you have set yourself goals more than likely, because if you are in the business world, you would more than likely have been told by a business mentor or a coach or anyone out there in business, you must have goals. And we're told this not just about business, we're told this about our personal lives as well. You can read every self-help book in the world and it will all tell you about goals and how to set goals. And we are good at setting goals. A lot of people are quite good at setting goals. You know, there's loads of different techniques to set goals and there's lots of different ways to look at it. There's lots of different types of goals. So you've got stat related goals, which are quite simple, which it could be, for instance, I set a stat earlier up actually that Nikki does not know about, which was that we will record 45 episodes of the 9 to 5 podcast this year. That's a stat goal, 45 podcasts this year, Nikki, just saying that out there.
That and raise it. That's what I reckon.
So yeah, I thought about the fact that, you know, things happen. So I didn't go for the whole 52. But, you know, it might be that you want to have 1,000 visits to your website in a month or something like that. So stat related goals, we're very familiar with stat related goals. And then obviously you've got income goals, which we're all very familiar with. I want to have a £10,000 month, for instance, it could be, or I want to create a business that's 6 figures, or I want to generate £2,000 this week, or something like that. So an income kind of goal. You've got Nikki's favorite type of goal, I believe, which is the why goal. What's the why goal, Nikki?
The why goal is the reason why you're actually doing what you do. It's the reason, because a lot of people say, this is what I want to do. This is what I achieve. So I have a client come to me, I want to earn 10K a month. Right, okay. Why do you want to do that? Well, because I just want to earn 10K a month. No. Why is it? What difference is that 10K a month going to make to you? Oh, well, that's because Exhibit A, I want to get a mortgage for a house, for example. You know, I want to get a deposit for getting the house, or I want to take the kids to Disneyland, or I want to X, Y, and Z. I want to get a house in France, a holiday home in France. Okay, well, that's more of a why. But why do you want to do that? So I can have experiences. It's usually down to experiences, happiness, enjoyment, spending time with loved ones, etc. So the why goal is what charges you through the blips, because we all have blips, to reach those goals. Because we never go along like this, set our goal and then just match our goal. We go up and down, up and down, up and down. So unless we have that golden carrot at the end, which is our why goal, we could go off track. We could give up. We could walk away. We could go, okay, I'm not doing that. I'm going to go for something else. I'm going to buy another course that's going to give me this goal, which it doesn't, because you just moved over to another longer, it's going to take you longer to get there. So your why goal is super important, as you could tell by the way I said it.
You can tell that with your passion there, Nick. You can tell that 100%. And then the goals that I'm probably most familiar with, which is like your marketing and strategy goals, where it could be, you know, we've all heard the LinkedIn goal of you must connect with 10 people a day and you must engage with 10 people a day. You know, that's a goal. That's a marketing kind of goal. You've got goals such as I am going to post every single day, or I'm going to post Monday, Friday, I'm going to create 3 reels a week. Them kind of marketing goals that you might have. And we'll all have various different ones in them categories. And there's one thing that we're all terrible at, I find. Well, most people are terrible at. And that is tracking our goals. So now, at least a month's probably passed since you set these goals that you may have set. You know, as we're recording this, it's, you know, still in January, but in early February, I will guarantee that me and Nikki will sit down together and we will go through our goals. We'll go through our goals and see where we are at. And if we didn't do that, then we would never achieve our goals. And I did this very much in not my old business, one of my businesses. So one of my business, IT Moon, my goal was to improve our income, was one of the big things. I wanted to improve our income, and it wasn't happening. We were stuck at this like 4K amount every month, and I wanted to get to the 8K. That was my goal, to achieve 8K consistently every month. We kept hitting 4K. And I was like, why is that happening? And it was because I wasn't tracking my goals. So then I created a spreadsheet. You can track your goals in various ways, which I'm probably sure we'll cover soon. But it was about tracking it. So as soon as I started every week sitting down and saying, right, I've achieved 3K this month so far. Right, next week I've achieved 4K this month. It made it so that suddenly we're achieving 10K a month consistently because we were tracking the goals and we understood where we were actually at. And it's the same with anything you're tracking. If you're tracking your social media stats, well, you need to track them. You need to track them. Don't just set the goal, track it. So if you said at the beginning of the month, I'm going to actually improve my followers by 100 followers in 1 month, well, how many followers did you improve it by this last month then? Find a way to track it. And there's lots of different ways, isn't there, to track your goals.
Yeah, and I just want to put it into a different sort of way to make you realize how important it is. So most of us have got sat navs in our car. Okay. And we think, okay, I live in Devon. I want to get to Edinburgh. That's my goal, is to get to Edinburgh. Now, we rely on that GPS to track our progress, to tell us which way we should be going at any given route, to get there to the quickest way, the easiest route, etc. Okay. Now, if we said we want to go to Edinburgh, but we didn't input it into the GPS, in fact, we didn't look at a map, we wouldn't know how long it was going to take us. We wouldn't know how to get there. And I just think that's a really good clue as to why you've got to get there, because you'll not get to Edinburgh anytime soon. So tracking your goals is essential for your success. I've digressed, I know, but I just thought...
No, I think continue, because actually it made me think about, but if you don't track your goals, you won't know when you need to change your goals.
Yeah, you don't know when to change route. You don't know when to give up, when to fill up with fuel, when to, change your car or whatever it is. You just don't know, because like in part of your tracking, you're tracking what products work or don't work. Your pricing. There are so many different levels, which we'll cover in another episode. But to keep track of that, and we're not saying you have to do it every day. Some people that are very sales orientated will be tracking their stats every day and making sure that they do all of the sales tasks, their income generating tasks every day. You don't have to do that, but the more you do it and the more that you have that as it's not just an internal navigation, it's an external navigation in so many different ways, and it's making it a habit. It's a habit. Okay. So this is a habit that you have to have for your business, because we did a planning session within our membership, and there were so many of our members that were absolutely enlightened about how much they earned or didn't earn last year. They had
People don't track it.
They hadn't tracked it. They didn't know. They didn't know. If we'd have said, what's your income and outgoings on a given month, they would not have known.
And it makes you face it, doesn't it? And face the facts. Yeah. So I think especially now at this time, a lot of people are worried about income and expenses. And a lot of us probably haven't actually worked out what is our income, what is our expense. Let's face it. So you might sit there, and I think we had one member, didn't we? And they thought they would have had such a huge loss. And actually, I think it turned into a small positive in the end, didn't it? After they'd actually looked back. So all year, that had probably been on their brain, I've made a loss in my business, made a loss in my business, made a loss in my business. And that's negative. It's going to make you feel bad. But face the fact, and actually had made a positive. But even if they had made a negative, that's it. I've made minus 2K in my business. What am I going to do now? And if you don't actually track that goal and figure that out, you wouldn't ever know what you need to do, would you?
People are so deflated by this negativity around business. And what it is, they're standing in their power of their knowledge. Their knowledge might not be business. It might not be sales. It might not be all of those things that are a real pain to most business owners. But we're here to make it easier for you. And it can, but the mindset blocks that come from, for example, somebody that thinks they've made a loss can stop you from moving forward. It can stop your growth. It can stop every area of your business. And actually, essentially, that big why goal, it gets further and further away because you think it's not achievable. And we hear it all of the time. But if you're in control, if you're taking control, you're not living. I just feel like you're getting hold of that steering wheel. You're going, right, this is what I'm doing. I've got the right fuel in my car and in me. I've got the information I need. I'm surrounded in the car with the people I need, and I know where I'm going. And then I'm going to stop every, 2 days, and I'm going to check in with myself, and I'm go on again. If you don't do that, you're going to get lost. You're going to get low in yourself. You're going to feel like throwing the towel in. And it's all negative Nellies that start working in your head, really. So just remember that big why, that big desire, and take control of it. Otherwise, you're leading somebody else's life and you're not living the life that you truly desire. So
Which actually reminds me, you should track goals that you want to track. So just because someone is saying you must track this certain thing, is that actually important to you? And just remember, you can't track everything. You literally cannot track everything.
It changes as well, doesn't it? So you might be putting out a wonderful lead magnet, and so you're tracking your lead magnet generating activities rather than income generating activities. So 1 month you might track one sort of stats, next month another stats. But then next time you go to do your lead magnet, you can go, right, what were my stats that month? Okay, let's see if I can do better this month. So it doesn't always have to be the same either, although the income stats are obviously important.
Yeah, and you often find like a bit of joy out of your stats, I think. So like you could be sat there, and we've had it with a lot of members where they'll say, I'm just not getting any leads. So we're like, right. And then when you actually dig deep and look at, right, let's check, what were your goals then? Well, I was going to post every Monday to Friday. And then you check, did you post Monday to Friday? No, I didn't post Monday to Friday. Maybe that's why you didn't hit your goal that month. Or it might be you need to engage with several people each day. And you check, have you connected with several people each day and engaged with other people? No, I haven't. Well, that could be why you didn't hit that income goal that you set. And that's why you need to, if you don't track this stuff, you'll just not pull yourself up, because no one's perfect. I guarantee you, when me and Nikki sit down at the end of the month and we go through our stats, one of us at least would have let something go or not done something they said they would have done, more than likely me usually. Something would have gone wrong. It's never going to be perfect. I have never had it at the end of a month. I've sat there and thought, do you know what? I did everything perfect to the letter. Never. But it gives me an opportunity to pull myself up. Right. This is what happened. This is what didn't happen. This is what I'm doing going forward. And that's why we need to make sure we keep an eye on them.
One of the goals this week we've said is to create 2 reels a week. Have you created any reels?
I have for one business. Does that count?
No, but for our business. Well, I've just created one yesterday, and I'm like, it's Friday already, and I've only created one like less than 1 minute reel. But we are all human, and we are all juggling balls, so we need to relax a little bit about it. And as Laura said, make it fun. Do you remember the saying, an apple a day keeps the doctor away? Just keep a habit a day, just a habit or a habit a week, and just check in with yourself. Just check in, because honestly, you will grow in your business by doing this. If you don't, you won't know where you are or where you're going.
100%. And just go back to some very early question of how to track your goals. I'm going to keep it simple. It literally depends on you and how you want to do it. For some people, it may be you want like a planner. I've got one in front of me. You might want a planner to do it on. It might be, I use a spreadsheet personally. So I use a spreadsheet to do it. It could be that you want to use an organization tool such as Trello or Asana or something like that. It may be that you'll track it within a Facebook group. So we have a post every week in our own membership where we ask people, what's your goals for the week? And the week after, we ask them, did you hit your goals? So it could be something as simple as that. But you just need to find what works for you personally. So try different methods out. And if it's like, so you might try a spreadsheet out and you might think, actually, I keep forgetting to track my goals. It's because that's not the right method for you. So try a different method. I have bought so many planners in my world. I've probably got about 50 in my drawer below. and I never use them consistently, but I use my spreadsheet consistently. So the spreadsheet works for me. So it's what works for you, isn't it?
Yeah, totally. And sometimes there is like a sea of resources and you're like, what's going to work? And just because one doesn't feel right doesn't mean something else. And sometimes just going back, just getting a notepad and pen, like just keep it basic. Don't feel like, oh, I've got to get hold of another, area of tech. No, just write it down in the front of your diary at the start of each month. So just don't overcomplicate something that can be really, really simple and fun. As I said, I get quite competitive about it. So I'm like, okay, I know what my stats are. Let's go for it. And I love it. But no, I think we've covered a great deal, but I know that we can go into that a little bit more at a later episode.
100%. And if you do want to be surrounded by people who help you with your goals and help you keep on track, then feel free to check us out in the Thrive Business Academy, which we don't often talk about it on this actual podcast because it's our higher up membership at £47 a month. But if you do want to join us inside the Thrive Business Academy, feel free to check us out at thrivebusinessacademy.com. And obviously we can help you with goal setting more, tracking your goals. Got various different templates for ways you can track your goals as well and see what works for you. So obviously always welcome there. But that's it for this episode this week. And we will see you next week on the next 9 to Thrive episode. And hopefully you have an amazing week.